Imran called in. You could do the same.
Hi, good morning, Neil.
Good morning, Imran. Long time no speak, my friend.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. I hope you're well anyway.
Yes, thank you for calling, Imran. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's the double standards and the whole hypocrisy around how the West decide who the terrorist is. If you're a brown-skinned person, you're a terrorist. If you're a white person like Darren Osborne or James Field Alexander, or the other person I think it was in New York, that drove the car and killed people, you're just, a criminal, a murderer. So I think
to be fair, most of the Western papers, certainly the papers that I read in this country, Imran, did describe someone like Thomas Mayer, who killed Joe Cox, as a terrorist. They called him a terrorist.
He hasn't been charged as a terrorist.
Thomas Mayer is in prison.
Yeah, he's in prison, but he's not been charged under any terror.
And the judge described him as a terrorist.
But was he charged under the Terrorist Act?
I don't have the charges in front of me.
Well, then there you go. None of them. No white people, they don't get charged under terrorist law. When you have these MPs like the one the other day, Sarah Champion, who's British-Israeli, they constantly attack people of a different background. They don't mention their own background. What's going on in the world now is this thing where it's you go after Muslim people. And it's just it's unbelievable. Honestly, it really is. And I think people can see through it. You just look at the double standards. You mentioned all them places, Nice, Stockholm, whatever else. You didn't mention America. It's happening. There's domestic terrorism there is absolutely unbelievable in America. Yet there's no mention of it. It's covered up by the media here. And so if
you were right, by the way, that Thomas Mayer was not charged with a terrorist offence. He was charged with murder, which is found guilty.
Is that not incredible? When none of these white people, they never charged them. Even when you had some years ago British and Irish passports stolen by British-Israeli individuals, no mention of it, no charges, no nothing. It's systematic where they just. I mean, it's unbelievable, honestly. I struggle to get my head around it, because when I looked the other day, Sarah Champion, how this woman, she's British-Israeli background. She won't mention her own background, what goes on in the grooming in the Israeli community. It's never mentioned. They don't look at it across the board.
Imran, and I'm sorry, but I mean, we're going way off topic here. Also, as well, of course, there hasn't been systematic grooming by predominantly Israeli or Jewish men of white girls in this country. That has not happened, so you're making a false comparison. But Imran, we're going down the cul-de-sac here. We want to talk about what happened in Barcelona, Imran, last night, and your thoughts and feelings on that. And you have every right, of course, to say that the man alleged to have killed a person in Charlottesville, you have every right to say that he should be regarded as terrorist, and there are many people in America who regard him to be a far-right terrorist.
And that's what we need, a level playing field. What all we're asking...
what we need is a defeat of all of this hate.
But when it comes to, unfortunately,
because you can't just evade it by just saying, oh look, but they're bad people too. What about the acceptance that there are people who believe in your faith that there are bad people in America?
No, there is no people. I'm sorry, they set the narrative. You can't say one person.
So there are no bad Muslims. There are no Muslim terrorists.
There are bad human beings. Whether someone says they're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, or whatever they may be, doesn't make no difference.
So how do we defeat them then? If you want to take them all in one blanket, whether it be the man in Charlottesville who's alleged to have driven into a crowd of people, or whether it be the individuals involved in Barcelona yesterday, how? It's a big question, Imran. But rather than just saying, well, we're all bad, what do you think?
Deal with criminality, that's what it is. And crime, whether it's in this country or wherever else in the world, you look at it and you say this is a crime that's being committed, because these things have gone through history.
Can they be defeated, Imran, do you think?
Who do you think?
These individuals, whether they be on the far-right extremists or whether they be Islamic extremists, can they be?
Unfortunately, people die every day. All you can do is you can try to make things, improve things, learn from things, but you can't put labels and say, this person's a terrorist and this person...
Well, you can.
Because you're not being fair. I'm sorry, but you're not being fair. And that's where the general public, when they look
I don't think they deserve fairness.
Who?
The people who commit these crimes. You don't need to be fair to them. You have to identify who they are. Otherwise, how can you solve a problem? But look, Imran, we're gonna leave it there though. But thank you very much indeed for joining us.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.